Several months ago we managed to achieve a 50mm lift to the front of our van by fitting VBAir suspension. The VBAir suspension included a spring and a Koni Shock, which gave the vehicle a super plush ride. We've been waiting for 3 months for the arrival of the rear suspension. This is an air spring which works with our standard spring in order to give us the ride height that we need, but also support the extra weight as we turn this van into our mobile home.
Hi guys, we're Vanlife My Way. My name's Nikki.
And I'm Paul.
We're a husband and wife team who have had many adventures over the years and now are planning to take early retirement and make van life our next adventure.
Coming from a background of equipping vehicles for overland and expedition travel, we hope you'll find our van build of interest as we create a van perhaps better suited to modern van life.
So do come along on our journey as we build our mobile home whilst taking you on some mini adventures in our camper van, Rad the Silver Surfer.
These commercial vehicles are built with a droop to the front end when empty. This allows the vehicle to level out when it's reaching its maximum capacity fully loaded. Most vans adapted for van life will sit quite low to the ground because they're pretty much approaching their maximum capacity, but on my build I'm going to be fitting some airbags. Not only will it give me a fully adjustable ride height, but I'm hoping the system will give me a rudimentary self-level system. So this is the comfort kit from VBAir and supplied by Specialist Automotive Components. It's TUV approved and fitted to most of our country's ambulances, so it's a decent bit of kit. The kit is 100% complete and comes with comprehensive fitting instructions. Seem to be using quite a lot of this Lanagard of late. Finding it to be quite a good product. So what I'm trying to do here is stuff as much of it as I can in the joints, nooks and crannies, and onto this new mounting plate that comes with the suspension system. So hopefully it will keep corrosion at bay. So as it said, protrusions painting down, that needs to slide out that way a bit more. So back to the Lanagard. I think that's enough on there. I'm just going to daub some on the bottom of the spring U-bolt plate, like so. So now our U-bolts, give them a good smear of the old Lanagard, can go back in place. Moving on to the copper grease now. I absolutely love copper grease.
How's it going? That's a good sign when you see copper grease out.
I know. I reckon that's enough copper grease. Right, Harrow, leave me alone. Harrow, stay. Harrow! Oh, it's so much better when things are greased. So, that's our bottom plate mounted for our air spring. So now the airbag's on, before I put the wheel on, I'm going to give the chassis and all the surrounding area a good coat of Lanagard under seal treatment. I've been using a hammer and chisel in these little peg areas just here to try and spin off these bump stops. They are in a captive nut which is sitting in the chassis just up there. But as I found on the left hand side, this right hand side too is actually seized in, and this unit here is just spinning on the bolt. So what I'm having to do, like I did the other side, is cut round here with an angle grinder to be able to see the bolt that goes in there. Fortunately, it's not a bolt that you can use a spanner on. So like with the left hand side, I had to weld a nut on top of the bolt in order to draw it out with a spanner. I got halfway through and then the welds holding the captive nut in place in there snapped. So I had to grind the bolt off and take the nut out. That meant that I had to find another nut to put on the inside and just use my fingers in there to screw it all up. So it's probably not a job for the faint-hearted if you've not got the tools to do this right. Luckily, I've got a welder. Oh, I've got caught in my bloody pants now. Oh, God. Look at that. Got caught in my bloody pyjamas. Here we go. So as I said, it probably isn't a job for the faint-hearted. So I've managed to do the passenger side. So it is possible, but what I'd be tempted to do is have a go at removing the bump stops, and if you can't, then take it somewhere to get somebody to do this. Because probably for the extra 200 to 300 quid it might cost to get this job done, I'd let this be somebody else's responsibility. Okay, leave me to it. I'll let you know what happens. So that went a bit easier than the passenger side. There's the rubber bump stop. There's part of the ring that I had to cut off the bump stop. And that's the nut that I had to weld on to the remaining bit in order to take out the bolt from the threads in the chassis. So I'm going to make use of this now. I'm going to squirt loads and loads of WD-40 at it, and also at the threads in the hole as well. So I'm going to work this in and out to make sure those threads are really clean for when we mount up the airbag. Right. There it goes. Oh, look at that, easy peasy now. So now we've got our air springs fitted, it's time to take a look at fitting our compressor and our control gear. In the kit supplied for the Citroen Relay, you get this nice little control panel. It consists of 2 gauges for both the left-hand airbag and the right-hand airbag, and a switch for inflating and deflating. And this control gear is designed to fit just here on the dash. The compressor, they recommend either fitting under your driver's seat, or by removing the footwell, they recommend putting it here. However, I've had a different idea. I didn't like the idea of mounting this in my dash and bringing all this pipework through my battery housing and all the way along the side of the chassis to reach the airbags. So what I've decided to do is mount the whole of my system here in my garage, where it's going to be very, very easy to access should anything go amiss with it. So I have an idea of mounting my pump somewhere here in the back of the van. So what I've done is brought all of these hoses under the van to exit in this pillar, and I didn't have to drill anything in order to get them there. It was quite an easy and neat job. This control panel I'll probably fit on some type of unit that I'm building up here, so my whole system is close together, easy to access and easy to maintain. In the meantime, I've put some Schrader valves on the ends of these hoses, which allows me to use the system by just pumping it up with a pump.
I didn't believe you could pump it up with a bike pump, so guess what? I was wrong.
Look at that.
Look at the vehicle. The vehicle.
As easy as that.
He's going. Oh. Well, hush my mouth, Eddie.
Now it's uneven. I'm lopsided.
Well, I know it out then.
Going down.
We're going down.
So I'm sorry guys, that's all I can show you up to this point until we get the garage finished, and it will give you some idea of where we're going to be mounting these bits and pieces. Also, until we get the van fully loaded, we're not going to be able to show you how the system works. So until then, keep watching the vlogs.